What's going on, guys? I have Doctor Sleep, the sequel to the Shining movie review for you. To give you some quick backstory, The Shining was a book written by Stephen King in the late 1970s. In 2013, he decided to do a sequel to it called Doctor Sleep. For the film side of stuff, in 1980, Stanley Kubrick directed a version of it that starred Jack Nicholson. I say a version of it because Stephen King has totally come out saying how much he dislikes this version. Stanley Kubrick did a lot of creative liberties on his own that Stephen King did not care for. He didn't care for it so much that in 97, he wrote the screenplay for a TV version of The Shining. I can't remember how many episodes it is, but it's about 4.5 hours long. It stars Rebecca De Mornay and Steven Weber. Now, even though Stephen King did this, the cult classic is the Jack Nicholson Stanley Kubrick version. With that being said, Doctor Sleep 2019, here we are. It's a sequel to both Stephen King's book and the Stanley Kubrick film. It is definitely both. It's not one or the other. So I definitely recommend those. I definitely recommend watching the Stanley Kubrick film if you're going to do anything at least. If you can't squeeze in the whole book, I understand. So here we are. It's 2019, many years after The Shining, and that's literally where it takes place. So we got Ewan McGregor, who plays Doc. Well, we knew him as Doc in the Shining. He's Danny in this one. Doc was actually from Bugs Bunny. What's up, Doc? Kind of little fun play on that and that kind of stuff, and especially since he grows up to be a doc, he's Dr. Sleep. Cool little fun. Well, at least I thought it was fun. Maybe it was just for me. So Ewan McGregor, though, he's Danny. They call him Dan and that kind of stuff. He's an adult now, and they feel this is kind of how my perception of it was. Is The Shining kind of introduced the shine, and then Dr. Sleep just opened up the floodgates, And to give you any kind of backstory on The Shine without giving it away and that kind of stuff, if you know the X-Men, Professor X would be a good example of what The Shine is. You can't think of it something like Superman and that kind of stuff, but The Shine is like these gifts that some people have and that kind of stuff, and it's all mental kind of things. They can do stuff with their minds. Now, I don't want to talk much more about it because I don't want to give anything away, but this movie is really about The Shine. The first movie is more about Jack Nicholson and him just kind of basically going crazy. This movie is about Danny and The Shine and other people that may or may not have them, as you see in the trailer. Rebecca Ferguson's in the film. She does an amazing job. I do got to give a shout out because I had no idea he was in this movie. This is not a spoiler by any means because I'm not going to elaborate on his character or anything like that. But my favorite kid actor right now was in this movie. Jacob Tremblay. I might be saying his name wrong. He's in movies like The Room, Before I Wake, the most recent, The Predator. He's in the upcoming Little Mermaid movie. He's the voice of Flounder. This kid is everywhere. I really enjoyed him, and so when I saw him on the screen, I was like, "Oh, hey!" So I was really excited. This movie has a great cast. Even if you haven't heard some of the actors, everybody does an amazing job. This movie did a great job of bringing you in and relating with all the characters. So the movie did spend about 20-25 minutes that felt a little bit slow at the beginning, but even though it felt slow, it was much needed. It didn't feel like, oh, that sucks or whatever. You understand what was going on. It was bringing you back in, it was catching you up to speed, reintroducing you and all that kind of stuff. That's why I feel like this movie could stand alone if you haven't read the books or seen the other movies. I do think, though, when they mention Overlook Hotel and Tony, that you just want to know what they're talking about. So with that being said, I do need to say I wouldn't recommend bringing your 6-year-old child to this movie like the person behind me did. This movie is rated R. There's some disturbing stuff. There's violence. If you know The Shining, there's a very old naked lady involved with some of this. So this movie, though, it's incredible. It's seriously one of my favorite Stephen King movies. I'm not going to say it's the best, but I am easily giving it 4 out of 5 stars. Outside of it, it's hands down the best film or adaptation of a Stephen King thing that I've seen in years. And it is a 2.5 hour movie, so get ready to sit down and don't drink too much of your drink, or else you're probably gonna miss something. So unless you go in the first 25 minutes, but you're gonna miss some of that story that makes you feel for Danny and stuff, and introduces you to all these new characters. So I do say you should go see this movie. It's incredible. I don't know if I've seen a movie that I felt like was so original in a long time like this. So, and the cast was just amazing. So, just to wrap it all up, if you could do anything just real quick before the film, watch the Stanley Kubrick version of The Shining that stars Jack Nicholson. That movie itself, I think, is like 2.5 hours long and does feel slow. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I enjoy it for what it is, but that movie definitely drags. And it's going to be funny because then when you watch Doctor Sleep, that's the exact same amount of time. This movie doesn't seem to drag. After you get that 25 minutes out of the way, it is like, boom, you're in it. So visually, it's amazing. They do great things with it. There is not a post-credit scene, so when the credits start coming, you're free to leave, or you can watch and read all the names and see who made that movie that you just enjoyed come to life. So this is my quick movie review. I'm going to end it so you can go see this movie that stars Ewan McGregor, Rebecca Ferguson, and it's just definitely an amazing job that Mike Flanagan, who wrote and directed this movie, he did a very amazing job with this. 4 out of 5, go see it. Like always, hit the comments up. Let me know if you've seen it, what you liked about it, or if you have any kind of questions and that kind of stuff. And if you like the video, push the like button and be sure to subscribe. That way you're up to date on any of my other movie releases that come out. Thank you guys so much, and until next time.